Inner this week in the Second World War, brought to you by the International Second World War History Network. In 1939, on the 12th of November, deportation begins of Polish Jews to the general government. Belgium and the Netherlands offer mediation to end the war. German Foreign Minister Joachim von Ribbentrop tells Belgian and Dutch envoys that Germany was turning down their offer 2 days later. And a Finnish delegation in Moscow breaks off negotiations. In 1940, on the 11th of November, the Battle of Taranto begins, and Vyacheslav Molotov meets Hitler in Berlin. On the 14th of November, Coventry is bombed. On the 15th of November, Isoroku Yamamoto is made admiral, and on the 16th of November, the Warsaw Ghetto is officially sealed. In 1941, on the 10th of November, a British commando raid is launched on the headquarters of Erwin Rommel, and Japan's Pearl Harbor Strike Force begins departing the Kure naval base. On the 14th of November, the Ark Royal is abandoned to sink some 12 hours after being torpedoed. On the 15th of November, the Germans renew the drive on Moscow after a 3-week lull, and on the 16th of November, the German 11th Army captured Kerch on the Crimean Peninsula. In 1942, on the 10th of November, Admiral Darlan agrees to a ceasefire in French North Africa. German forces begin the occupation of Vichy, France, that day. On the 11th of November, the Battle of El Alamein ends in Allied victory. On the 12th of November, the Italian army occupies Monaco. The next day, the 8th Army captures Tobruk. On the 15th of November, the naval battle of Guadalcanal ends in American victory, and on the 16th of November, the Kokoda track campaign ends in Allied victory, and the Battle of Bunagona begins. In 1943, on the 12th of November, the Battle of Riros begins, and the Battle of the Treasury Islands ends in the Pacific. On the 13th of November, work is completed on the XB-80 jet fighter. On the 14th of November, the Battle of the Coconut Grove ends in Allied victory. The Manifesto of Verona is issued by the Fascist Republican Party, and Bulgaria is bombed for the first time. On the 15th of November, Heinrich Himmler orders nomadic gypsies and part gypsies to be placed in concentration camps. Karl Dönitz calls off U-boat operations in the Western Atlantic, and the Fifth Army assault on the Bernhardt Line in Italy is suspended. On the 16th of November, the Battle of Leros ends when Allied troops surrender. The Italian Social Republic orders the arrest and deportation of Jews. In 1944, on the 10th of November, the roundup begins of 50,000 men in Rotterdam for forced labor in Germany, and the Allies recognize the government of Albanian partisan leader Enver Hoxha. On the 11th of November, the Battle of Olmos Bay begins in the Camote Sea in the Philippines, and the remaining German troops withdraw from Greece. On the 12th of November, the RAF sinks the Tirpitz in Tromsø. On the 13th of November, the Bulgarian army captures Skopje. On the 14th of November, Albanian partisans liberated Durrës. And on the 16th of November, the 1st and 9th armies begin an offensive against the German Siegfried Line. In 1945, on the 13th of November, the US and the UK create a joint commission of inquiry to examine the question of European Jews and Palestine, and the French Constituent Assembly elects Charles de Gaulle president of the Provisional Government of France.